It is harder to become a good master mechanic or good master heavy diesel mechanic than it is harder to do any other job in the blue collar field. Now I'm going to tell you why. You can watch this video, you can drop your angry comment, whenever, feel free. But my job, harder than yours. Now let me tell you why. So let's start at the beginning. To be a mechanic, to even be an apprentice, to get out of the lube tech position, out of the tire tech position, to get into an apprentice role, you got to spend some money. You got to spend close to 5 to 10 grand just to have the toolbox, the tools to do the job. And then as a mechanic, for the first 3 to 5 years, you can expect to spend 30 to 45% of your earned income, not gross, of your net income. What you earn, 30 to 45% of that is all going to go to tools. And that is just so you can be taken seriously and have other guys teach you and kind of do your job. Like, you have to have this to A, do your job, and to B, have other guys take you seriously so you're not constantly working under their toolboxes. Number 2, you got to be proficient at so many different systems, whether it is electrical, whether it is HVAC, whether it's steering and suspension, alignments, geometry, whatever it is. And we're going to break them down. Don't worry. But you got to be proficient and master level at so many different systems. So for HVAC, you have to, at the very least, be proficient in R134 and R1234, or YF1234. And you got to be proficient in those. You got to understand how they work. You have to be able to diagnose an AC compressor. You have to diagnose the AC system. You have to fix the AC system. You have to understand the pressures, understand what they're telling you, which is pretty simple portion of it for me. But for somebody that doesn't know what they're doing, it's pretty difficult. It takes a minute to learn. So you got to be proficient in that. You have to understand that. You have to be proficient in electrical. Well, you have to be master level in electrical. You have to be master level at reading schematics. You got to be master level at reading electrical diagrams, at electrical diagnosis, advanced electrical diagnosis, electrical communication diagnostics. If you want to be a great master mechanic, a great heavy duty mechanic, you have to be master level at these things. Otherwise, there's going to be some issues that elude you that you're not going to be able to figure out, because cars nowadays, you have 15 to 20 modules that are all communicating to each other. Well, what happens when you have a short and a really, really small spot in the middle of them and all of them go down? Well, that's where knowing how to do that diagnostics, knowing how to read them schematics and those diagrams come into play. So moving on from that, you have to be proficient in fabrication. You have to be proficient in welding. I'm going to drop a little video and some different fabrications that I've done. But whether it's exhaust and you're welding exhausts, and whether it's the 2008 to 2014 Ford Escapes, which I'm going to drop a video in, but the rear shock tower on those all rust out. You got to fab a new one and weld that in. And it's not that hard, but if you don't have that skill, if you don't have the ability to learn that skill to do it on your own, you're not going to be very good at what you do. So then, even moving on from that, there's still much more you got to be proficient in. From like 2014 on, you have to be able to program, whether it's your powertrain control module, your PCM, whether it's your transmission, whether it's your body control module, whether it's your ABS module, and you got to do an automated bleed, whatever it is, you have to understand these systems. And a lot of them, some of them you can just get on a scanner and click a button, but a lot of them you actually have to understand the programming. You have to get in on a laptop. You got to go through the Chrysler software, go through the Ford software. You have to understand what you're looking at. You have to understand how to get into them softwares and how to program what you need to program. Otherwise, the guys that do it, that you got to hire out, cost a lot of money. It's very expensive. So moving on from that, that's a specialty field. But there's so many different specialties inside of the field of mechanics, whether you are solely doing tires, like you're doing heavy duty tires, small tires, big tires, whether you're doing transmissions and you're just a transmission rebuild shop, you pull them out, you rebuild them, or you just get a transmission sent to you or you rebuild them. Whether you are a performance shop and you do performance engine builds, performance transmission builds, performance race builds, whether you are just a repair shop and you do just a little bit of everything, do drivability and kind of do a little bit of everything. There's so many different specialties inside of just the field of mechanics. And in order to get to the specialty that you want to do, you have to at least become proficient in all of them, because they all tie in together. So I stand by my statement. Becoming a great master mechanic or a great master heavy duty mechanic is harder than any other trade out there, just because of everything that you have to know, all of the different trades that go into it, We have to learn and keep learning, keep educating ourselves every single day with new systems that are coming out. I mean, we're moving into automated vehicles, we're moving into electric vehicles, and there's still some mechanics that are stuck on carburation, that are just learning direct injection, that are just learning electrical. So to be a great master mechanic, you have to be furthering that education every day, be willing to teach yourself something new every single day, be willing to go through that information, go through the forums, go through the service manuals and read and learn. Otherwise, you're going to be up a creek without a paddle. It's not going to be a very good situation for you. And then on top of all of that you already have to do, all the different other trades that go into it, whether it's HVAC, whether it's AC, whether it's you got to do math with geometry for alignments, it's electrical, or it's welding, it's fabrication. You got to do all those. You got to be proficient in all those, as well as just being a normal mechanic, just being a normal parts changer, just being able to swap an engine, just being able to do timing change, just being able to do cams, just being able to do all of the different things that come on an engine, come on a transmission, come on a vehicle, being able to take a wheel bearing out, being able to change an axle seal, the simple stuff. Well, I call it simple because I do it every day, but you have to be great at all that stuff to even get to the other stuff. You have to be proficient at normal mechanics to even get close to being great or a master at being a full-on mechanic, full-on technician. So that is why I would say it's more difficult than any other ones. Now, don't get me wrong, electrical, I hire it out. I don't learn it myself because I don't know how to do it. That's not what I do. So like electrical on cars, 100%. I love it. That's what I do. But electrical in houses, 110, 220, I'll hire somebody. I won't even try because you guys, you know what you're doing. You've mastered your trade. And I am not going to spend 2 years trying to learn what you guys already know how to do. So it's like, it's recognizing that every single trade has its own great things. They have their own purpose. But as a mechanic, you got to learn all of them and still be proficient in your own. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let me know why I'm wrong or why I'm right. And yeah, thanks for hanging out, guys.